Is there a divine reality? That is the most important question you'll ever ask and have to answer. This episode will put forth the argument in favor of the truth and reality of the divine. To investigate that proposition, we'll use the epistemic tools of reason and logic. The divine could be defined as the reality which is unique, limitless, transcendent, and necessary for the existence of all other realities. Any reality which is dependent isn't God. And any reality which is completely independent is God. The main proposition put forward is this: realities are either all conditionally dependent, which would exclude the possibility of divinity, or there is at least one reality which is unconditional, which would indicate divinity. The argument is this: 1. Realities exist. 2. Realities are either all conditional, or there is at least one unconditional reality. 3. Conditional realities cannot exist until all the conditions necessary for existence are fulfilled. 4. There is either a limited or unlimited set of conditions which must be fulfilled. 5. An unlimited set of conditions can never be fulfilled, and existence cannot occur. 6. Since existence has occurred, the set of conditions must be limited. 7. A limited chain of conditions must end with a terminal reality. 8. The terminal reality is an unconditional reality. 9. An unconditional reality has the characteristics unique to the divine. 10. The unconditional reality is the divine reality. Let's investigate the argument in further detail. Number 1, realities exist. A reality is anything which is real and true. We begin with the assumption that things such as rocks, trees, stars, and yourself are all real and true. 2. Realities are either all conditional, or there is at least one unconditional reality. A reality which depends on certain conditions to exist is a conditional reality. Something which doesn't require any conditions in order to exist is an unconditional reality. A condition is any state of affairs which must be fulfilled in order to produce a certain outcome. A condition could be temporal, spatial, or material. 3. Conditional realities cannot exist until all the conditions necessary for existence have been fulfilled. Take yourself as an example. What conditions must be fulfilled for you to exist? First, you must have a body. Without a body, you wouldn't exist. A body is also conditionally dependent. Without organic tissues, there would be no body and no you. Organic tissues are also conditionally dependent. They require cells. No cells, no tissue, no body, no you. And the cells themselves are also conditionally dependent. Continuing the set of conditions and conditional realities which must be fulfilled for you to exist. If any of those conditions is unfulfilled, you would not exist. 4. There's either a limited or unlimited set of conditions which must be fulfilled. Your existence cannot occur until condition A is fulfilled. The existence of condition A could not occur until condition B is fulfilled. The existence of condition B cannot occur until condition C is fulfilled, and so on and so on. Is that set of necessary conditions unlimited? 5. An unlimited set of conditions can never be fulfilled, and existence cannot occur. If the set of necessary conditions for your existence is unlimited, it could never be completely fulfilled. If necessary existential conditions are never fulfilled, your existence could not occur. 6. Since existence has occurred, the set of conditions must be limited. Since your existence has occurred, there cannot be an unlimited set of conditions and conditional realities upon which your existence depends. The chain of conditional requirements is limited. 7. A limited chain of conditions has an endpoint, a terminal reality. Condition A requires condition B requires condition C requires E, and so on. Since the chain of such conditional realities is limited, it eventually ends with a terminal reality. That terminal reality depends on no preceding conditions or realities. 8. The terminal reality is an unconditional reality. If the terminal reality in a limited set of otherwise conditional realities depends on no preceding conditional realities, then its existence is unconditional. 9. An unconditional reality has the characteristics unique to the divine. An unconditional reality has to be unique. Conditional realities share the common characteristic of dependence. An unconditional reality has the unique characteristic of independence. An unconditional reality must be eternal, as time doesn't restrict its existence. An unconditional reality is limitless. With no conditional limitations, an unconditional reality is unrestricted, and therefore all-capable, all-powerful. An unconditional reality doesn't depend on any conditions to exist. It doesn't require time, it doesn't require space, it doesn't require matter. Those characteristics are unique to the concept of the divine. 10. The unconditional reality is the divine reality. With the use of reason, we can conclude that the concept of the divine is a logically necessary reality upon which all other conditional realities rely. How do you view the divine? What are your thoughts?
How do you know Muhammad is the messenger of God? To investigate the truth of Muhammad, peace be upon him's messengership, we'll utilize the epistemic tool of honest testimony. For testimony to be a valid source of knowledge, the person who is conveying such knowledge must be in a position to know what he is conveying, and you must have a high level of confidence in his honesty and trustworthiness. If God revealed his knowledge in the form of an objective, understandable, verbal recitation, then Muhammad, peace be upon him, would be in a position to receive and know it. But how can we have confidence that he was honest? You know if someone's honest based on their behavior. If someone consistently tells the truth in any situation, particularly situations where it's unfavorable to espouse the truth, then you can have a high level of confidence in that person's testimony. Muhammad, peace be upon him, preached a message of monotheism which was foreign and unpalatable to his idolatrous society. He preached a moral code of justice and care for the weak, which alienated him from the rich and powerful. He preached his message for years and encountered only increasing rejection, hatred, and abuse. If Muhammad was lying about his message, he would surely have changed it to help him achieve some worldly success. But he didn't. He chose to stick with his message, even though there was no foreseeable gain or success in doing so. During a time of intense oppression, Muhammad's enemies offered to worship his God for virtually the whole year if he would just worship their idols for one day every year. He was also offered political leadership, he was offered money, he was offered fair maidens to marry, all if he just abandoned his message. Those offers were tempting during such a period of hardship, yet he refused outright. Why would he do that? He was later tempted with the critical support of Christian and Jewish communities if he modified his message to conform with their beliefs. This would have been highly advantageous, but again he refused. Why would a man choose to endure ridicule, hatred, suffering, and even the threat of death, just to tell people that God is one? And in the end get no material reward for it? The life of Muhammad, peace be upon him, clearly shows that he stood for what he believed. And because of his unwavering consistency in difficult situations, we can have the highest level of confidence that he was an honest man. Argument review. If someone is in a position to know something, and he is known to tell the truth in every situation, then when he conveys knowledge to you, you can have a high level of confidence that it's true. Muhammad, peace be upon him, was such a man. In the next episode, we'll look at the message itself, and how it is self-evident proof of God's existence and the messengership of Muhammad, peace be upon him. How do you know the Qur'an is true? To investigate the truth value of the Qur'an and Islam, we'll use the epistemic tool of perception as well as reason. We will literally witness a miracle, which will indicate that the Qur'an is of divine origin, and thus its claims are true and must be taken seriously. A miracle is any event which is beyond the ability of nature to produce. The only productive power which can exist beyond nature is the divine. For example, not being burnt by direct exposure to flame, or a wooden staff turning into a living snake, or an infant being able to speak eloquently. All those are events which nature cannot produce. Therefore, their production is miraculous and a sign of the divine. The Quran is a special book because it doesn't simply tell people to believe, it challenges them. It challenges them to falsify it. In several verses in the Quran, it challenges all of humankind to falsify the Qur'an by producing a text of equivalent or superior quality. This challenge was even lessened to demanding only the production of a single chapter, let alone the entire Qur'an. And the smallest chapter is only 10 words. So you don't need polemics, you don't need insults, you don't need wars, you don't need crusades. If you truly want to terminate Islam, you only need words. Only 10 words. And then Islam is finished. This challenge is not merely about subjective aesthetics. We can actually observe some objective metrics to determine if a text is superior to the Quran. For example, the Quran deals with specific events and topics. Can a challenging text address those same topics with a unique literary style, have greater economy of words, use more eloquent or precise word choices, use more rhetorical devices and linguistic features, and still convey a profound message? If a challenging text can do such, then it would demonstrate that the Quran isn't a miracle, because nature, which includes the brains of other human beings, can also produce something analogous. However, if people can't produce something like the Quran, then it would indicate that the Quran's production would have to be of divine origin. The harshest critics and haters of Muhammad, peace be upon him, aren't the amateur goofballs of today. They were the tyrants of his time who killed and maimed innocent Muslims. They boiled red with fury and hatred for Muhammad, peace be upon him, and Islam. And they also happened to be the best equipped for falsifying the Quran, as their eloquence, knowledge, and mastery of the Arabic language was of the highest degree. So they were the people for the challenge. However, all their attempts to outdo the Quran failed miserably, which they themselves had to shamefully admit. The challenge remains open to this day and until the end of time. And the Quran was a miracle in the time of Muhammad, peace be upon him, and it remains a miracle which we can witness ourselves to know that there is no God except the God, and Muhammad is his slave and messenger. Argument review. Any event beyond the productive capacity of nature is a miracle. The Qur'an is beyond the productive capacity of nature, which includes the linguistic abilities of other human beings. Therefore, the Qur'an is a miracle which we can perceive by our direct experience, by hearing its words, by seeing its letters, which acts as a signpost to it being from the divine.